hypothetically speaking, if we were going about 88 miles per hour right now, there is a very good chance we would be transporting ourselves back to the future. That's right, everybody. Welcome to Courthouse Square, otherwise known as Hill Valley, for the Back to the Future films. And that City Hall building is the famous clock tower. It looks a little bit different today because the clock tower specifically became so synonymous with the Back to the Future franchise that it needed to be changed to make it look a little bit more generic. That way other productions could come in here and use it. Ooh, but you know what? Something really cool is happening right now. They opened the doors of the City Hall building, and if you can, take a look behind those doors. And you might see some columns hiding on the inside of that building. Wow. Those are actually the original columns from the clock tower for Back to the Future. So it was just covered up by a facade for the CBS show Ghost Whisperer, starring Jennifer Love Hewitt. They created this false brick wall facade with that City Hall sign and just placed it in front of the clock series. They also used Courthouse Square in movies like Gremlins. It's covered in a blanket of snow in that film. Seen in the movie To Kill a Mockingbird, it's actually where it gets its name, Courthouse Square, from. And it was seen in the very first episode ever of The Twilight Zone, in an episode entitled Where Is Everybody? We'll see a completely empty Courthouse Square in that movie, or in that TV show. Oh, you know what? Now we're heading out of small town USA and into the heart of the Big Apple. Welcome, everyone, to New York Street. Welcome to New York Street. Now, I love New York. It's one of my favorite places in the world. But you know who's much better suited to talk about New York Street? It's my co-host, Jimmy Fallon. So take it away, Jimmy.
Hey, everyone. Welcome to New York. I got my start right here in New York on Saturday Night Live. This is actually my old neighborhood. What's got mugged over there? An old woman. Tough lady. This is my favorite hot dog guy. Hey, buddy. How's it going? Remember me? No. Just like old times. Gotta love New York City.
Hey, I'm walking here.
Take it here on the Universal Lot.
That's right, Jimmy. And these streets have been seen as New York in TV shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and movie musicals like Newsies starring a young Christian Bale, even in music videos like for Taylor Swift's music video for her song Wildest Dreams that was filmed right here on New York Street. It was also seen in several superhero films like Marvel's Captain America: The First Avenger. If you remember the scene where Steve Rogers... This tall glass building is used as the Oscorp building in all of the close-up shots of Andrew Garfield and the Amazing Spider-Man. And we're also going to get really close to a location from Spider-Man 2. There's going to be a theater. As you turn the corner on your left-hand side, it has the Lyric Theater logo above the awning. And that's a Broadway theater that Mary Jane Watson, Peter Parker, who's played by Tobey Maguire, is just a little too late to that show. So sadly, he's turned away at the doors and he stands right out in front of the Lyric Theater that's going to be on your left. Now, in addition, and here's some more of our Metropolitan sets. Ooh, and the Blues Brothers, it was seen as the streets of Chicago. We'll come back to that here in a minute.
Place up.
Here's Arnold Schwarzenegger on the front of our Brownstone Street sets we just saw. Here they are again in the Sting. Oh, and I love this, right? We're watching Bruce Almighty. Remember when we talked about how the clock tower from Back to the Future was so iconic that they needed to cover it up? Well, you'll see why here. Would you look at that? It's the clock tower from Back to the Future. What's it doing to Bruce Almighty? Now, I did mention that they filmed the Blues Brothers here. They made these streets of New York look like the city streets of Chicago in the movie starring Saturday Night Live. And spoiler alert, there's quite a few. Is the director of King Kong, Peter Jackson.
It's the original King Kong that
Everyone wave at each other! Oh, look at that! Hello, everyone! Everybody, now's the time to get out those cameras because you're about to see... Boop. Next to it, there's that Ferrari from Magnum P.I. we just saw. Biff's car from Back to the Future. Some more futuristic models. Those are from Back to the Future 2. Some Stone Age vehicles from the Flintstones. The magical flying Ford Anglia from Warner Brothers' Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Willie's Coop from the Fate of the Furious. The Gyrosphere from Jurassic World. A couple of Jordan Peele movies referenced over here. The Fry's Electronics vehicle from his latest film, Nope, and the second one, Crawdaddy Boat, is from his second film, Us. And I always point out that tank near the end. It's a Bradley fighting vehicle for the Transformers series. The funny thing about that tank is that it's actually not a real tank at all. Oh, it's made out of plywood and then painted to look like metal. That's the part of the tour where you go, ooh, right. You want to try it? That tank is made out of plywood and painted to look like metal. See, it's a lot better that way. Seem to have a lot on display. Don't worry, they're locked tight in their cages here, but everything you're seeing now has been featured on camera in the original Jurassic Park trilogy, including this InGen mobile lab on your left, used in the Lost World Jurassic Park. Get this, it's another vehicle made out of plywood and painted to look like metal. There we go, we got it. Okay, now it's time to meet the dinosaurs. Where are they? Oh no! Oh no, sorry! I escaped. Oh, you know what? That actor's about to show up. Rain is actually an example of something that is considered to be a practical effect. So that means it can be created on set, like those little water droplets that are on the screen. And just to prove it to you, we actually have a weather demonstration set up right here in our Old Mexico sets. That way you can see how we make a realistic rainstorm on set and in the moment. So first things first, we need to have little audio and visual cues in the form of thunder and lightning, created using some strobe lights that are flashing. The sound is projected through speakers. And I'm going to turn on the rain now. I think this is the rain button. Honestly, I'm not really sure. Oh, nice! Now the rain is being created using a highly complicated and just, oh boy, wildly technical system. You know, honestly, you've probably never heard of them before. But they're called sprinklers. Ooh, right? That's pretty cool. We shoot the water straight up in the air and it falls back down to the ground using only gravity. Oh, this is so nice, right? I think I'm going to turn it off though, because we get the idea. Oh no, oh car, what? Can you keep my secret? I accidentally hit the wrong button. I think I released all the water. Oh, that's not good. If you're in a blue seat, I'd look out. Was our flash flood. Give it up for our flash flood, everyone. You might recognize that practical effect for the movie Big Bad Liar. Take a look. And that's Paul Giamatti, who's now nominated for an Academy Award for his work on the Universal film The Holdovers. The rest of these Old Mexico sets were seen in other notable films like The Three Amigos, starring Chevy Chase, Martin Short, and Steve Martin, and Nacho Libre, starring Jack Black. Now we're heading out of Old Mexico and into the Old West. Welcome, everyone, to 6 Points, which are Western sets. And I've seen many a Western star over the years, from John Wayne, Jimmy Stewart, to Clint Eastwood, even Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt. Oh, not those guys, but they were here filming Quentin Tarantino's film, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now, 6 Points, like the rest of our sets here, are comprised of two different kinds of sets, facades and practical sets. A facade being basically just a fancy French word that means false front. So many of these buildings are just shells, only meant to be filmed from the outside. Then we have practical sets that you can film fully inside and outside of those buildings. One of them is actually right here on 6 Points, and it's on your screen right now. Since we can't go inside of it today, we just took a picture of it for you. Now this is a saloon. It's just basically a bare bones example of what a practical set would look like here at Universal. And this particular location was featured in Quentin Tarantino's film Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Now we're going to head out of Old Mexico and 6 Points. Continue the rest of our tour officially. Folks, we are at the halfway point, so once again, if you have an emergency, drop something of value off the side of the tram, just can't wait to use the restroom, please let me know by pulling the red emergency cord above your head, and I'll be back to assist you, but please remain seated. Which also serves as a fairy tale environment with the cobblestone streets and whimsical atmosphere. And this is the Utopia, The Princess Diaries 2, a royal engagement starring Anne Hathaway and Julie Andrews. Seen in Rogers and Hammerstein's Cinderella, starring Brandy and Whitney Houston. It's also seen in a couple different Pirates of the Caribbean films, as The Isle of Tortuga and Port Royale. In the Muppets movie, it was the streets of Paris, and Miss Piggy and Kermit the Frog won a date there. And one of my favorite uses of Little Europe over the years has got to be just The Afterlife, The Good Place. Channel. It has a fully functioning kitchen on the inside of that building. Now, the Denver house is an example of a practical set. It looks like a house inside of there. Most recently, it was used as the influencer house in the TV series Bel Air. Now, the Denver house is called the Denver house because it resides here on Denver Street, which at one point Universal. One of those being a little film called Jaws. And speaking of which, anybody interested in going to the beach? Because I am, and I would love to take you to Amity Island. Yes, it is the setting for the movie Jaws, where they did have a shark problem. But don't worry, they figured that out. The shark is caught. He's hanging up right over there. In fact, I was so nice, y'all. Big news. I booked each and every one of us, got a great deal on a trip to go to Amity Island. We're all going to go scuba diving here. How exciting is that? What? Is it a fit in the water? Oh no, that's not good. They caught the wrong shark again. Oh no, that's our scuba instructor, George! Everyone yell at him! Save his life! George! Oh no. Well, that was a waste of a Groupon. Alright everyone, we're gonna hide right now behind this dock, which is very safe, I promise. We even put some bait in that white barrel. Oh jeez, let's hope he takes the bait. Let's cross our fingers. No, thank goodness he took the bait. Okay, he's gonna be too full now. I really wouldn't panic if I were you. Oh no, what was I saying about not panicking? Hey, has anyone seen the shark? There he is. Can we get a round of applause for our shark, Bruce? Yeah, Bruce. He's pretty cool. You know, Bruce is actually the only shark in the world that can do the backstroke. Hey, look, he's showing you right now. Now, quick question about my friend Bruce. If you know the answer, feel free to just yell it out, okay? I mean, as loud as you can, because there's a lot of people here on this channel. I want to make sure I hear you. Does anyone know what kind of shark Bruce is? A white shark? Best little whorehouse in Texas, starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. The Chicken Ranch is an example of a practical set, so that means it looks like a house inside of there. Directly behind it is a yellow building that's only purpose in life is to give the illusion that the Chicken Ranch has neighbors. But, you know, as you can see, that's not a real building, so you can't film in there. Speaking of neighbors, we're about to enter probably the most famous neighborhood here at Universal, maybe in all of Hollywood. Welcome to Colonial Street, otherwise known from the ABC show Desperate Housewives as Wisteria Lane. We do have some very famous neighbors that live here. This lilac building on your left is 1313 Mockingbird Lane, the Munsters' home. Right next to the Munsters is Davy's house. Davy, played by Trey Ramakrishnan on the show Never Have I Ever. The Sunny Yellow house belongs to the main character in that series. Next to Davy's house is a house that has a tree growing out through the center of the living room. So definitely nobody can live in there. In fact, it's one of the main selling points of Colonial Street since nobody lives here. Productions can do really whatever they want to these houses, which for Desperate Housewives, they definitely did. They burned the house down. They had a tornado destroy these houses. Keep in mind that nobody lives here the next time you might be watching The Voice, because a lot of the times on that show, they like to go back to segments where they visit the contestants' hometowns. Well, sometimes the time we take a production, it's just a lot easier to pretend like the contestants are from Colonial Street. So that's a fun little thing. Oh, 1436 is Brown Building coming up off to your left-hand side. Most recently was seen as Eddie Murphy's home in the holiday movie Candy Cane Lane on Amazon Prime. You also might recognize this street from a couple of different Super Bowl commercials this season. There was a Super Bowl commercial here filming with Beyonce and Arnold Schwarzenegger, as well as Danny DeVito. that house, that blue house at the end, the left one, that one most recently was seen as Ted's house, the new Ted prequel series. In fact, here's what it looks like on camera. Crash site. He worked with production designer Rick Carter to bring that set to life, which normally would be done using only visual effects. Production designers are such an important part of the filmmaking process. Production designer Ruth DeYoung worked with Jordan Peele to bring these to work on Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer, which is now streaming on Peacock. And here to welcome us to the Jupiter's Claim sets with Jordan Peele's latest film, Nope, is Jordan Peele himself.
Movie magic only happens when a team of collaborators, often in the hundreds, work together to take an impossible notion and bring it to life. This is Jupiter's Claim, a nostalgic, small-time Southern California amusement park owned by former child star Ricky Jupiter. Over there, look into the Wicking Mall and have your picture taken just like the kids in that old 90s movie Kid Show. That's what this whole place is loosely based on. Remember that one? No? Well, a little further down, you can see the brand new Star Lasso experience. Built to showcase an unbelievable new live show. So live. Anyway, behind this Hollywood fantasy, Gold Rush Frontier tale lies a sinister secret. Welcome to the world.
Oh no. Oh, this is not good. Okay, everybody, please just remain calm. Today, so I think we should get out of there. And now be in a movie ourselves by being an actor in the next Fast and Furious movie in the franchise. Blah, 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 blah. That's right, everybody, and that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're heading to set right now, so here's the plot of today's film. One of you on board is a witness to some sort of crime, and we need to hide you in this building away from an international criminal who goes by the name of Owen Shaw. It is very, very, very important that we remain seated at all times, keeping our arms